Turki Alalshaikh said that he delivered an offer to WBA super welterweight champion Terence Crawford to fight unbeaten Virgil Ortiz Jr., but does not think that Crawford will accept it.
Terence Crawford disrespected Turki Alalshaikh and said that he is only here to fight Canelo Alvarez, not Virgil Ortiz. In a recent interview, former boxer Paulie Malignaggi said that Crawford is putting all of his eggs in one basket by refusing to fight Virgil Ortiz. It seems as though Crawford is living in a fantasy land.
All right, Paulie, is it for Terence Crawford only Canelo and nobody else? It seems like he's putting all his eggs into the basket to fight Canelo.
You know what? It does seem this way. If what Turki Alalshikh is saying is true, it kind of makes sense that the rumor that a lot of people have come to conclusion to that, which is that Crawford's only looking for big money fights, sort of like these super fantasy fights.
Malignaggi painfully admitted that Crawford is only chasing the fights with the most money, and he is avoiding any competition-based fights. Paulie said that Canelo is a huge legacy fight, which also brings a lot of money to Crawford's bank account. If Crawford can beat Canelo, then that will make him the undisputed champion in 3 weight classes in the 4-belt era. Paulie further commented on the mentality of Terence Crawford when he said that the 154-pound division is no joke. Paulie alluded to the fact that Crawford got absolutely battered in his fight with Madrimov, and the decision may have been a controversial one. Malignaggi further commented on the strength that lies dormant in the 154-pound division, including Madrimov. Crawford had to really dig deep to pull out that victory over Madrimov, and the 154-pound division is full of guys like Madrimov, you know. In addition, Paulie said that Crawford didn't build up his reputation so he can keep fighting these young, hungry guys. The guys in the 154-pound division are destroyers, and most of them are young in their 30s or 20s. Paulie was doubtful whether the Canelo fight could be made because Turki Alalshaikh seemed disinterested in Canelo. Moreover, Paulie understands where Crawford is coming from because he is losing time as his age runs out and his career slowly comes to an end. Additionally, in an interview with The Stomping Ground on YouTube, Turki Sheikh clearly said that Terence Crawford will not be interested in anyone except Canelo Alvarez.
Terence Crawford versus Boots Ennis. Do you like it?
Great fight, but not the top fight we want to see it.
Okay. What would your top next fights be for Crawford away from Canelo?
I don't think Crawford will fight anyone except Canelo.
Turki Shaikh was unsure whether Crawford would accept a fight with Virgil Ortiz because he has his heart set on Canelo. Moreover, Turki has big plans for Virgil Ortiz if he doesn't accept the Crawford fight. Furthermore, former boxer Chris Algieri gave his comments on Crawford's next fights. He said that Crawford is only here to make the most money he can possibly make.
Guys, let's keep it real. Crawford's here to make money. I don't think he cares so much about legacy at this point. Yes, he's a super competitive guy. Of course, he's going to want to win, even against a guy like Canelo. It's going to elevate him if he is to get the victory. But at the end of the day, it's about money. He's 36, going on 37 years old.
Chris said that Crawford is close to 37 years old now, and he is the most accomplished fighter in the 4-belt era. He is 2-division undisputed and 4-division world champion, which is very rare. Algieri commented that it makes sense for Crawford to chase Canelo because that will do way more for his legacy than any other fight. It seems as though Terence is avoiding fights with bigger and younger guys to collect belts because he's over that at this point. Chris further commented that Crawford used to be the 100% knockout guy who goes to 54 and realizes that he is not going to be able to dominate these guys like he used to. Chris Algieri further remarked on Crawford's technical talent in the fights. Crawford still has a deep bag of skills and abilities to be able to pull out these fights, but it's going to be a lot tougher here at this weight class. Chris said that it's going to be a lot tougher for Terence at this weight class and age to overpower bigger opponents. Algieri also said that if Crawford can get the Canelo fight, then he will surely be retiring. He said that it's not easy to collect belts against top guys, and it's a really long road, especially at the age Crawford is. Terence is definitely faster, and he can collect belts with speed, but that is not the path he is interested in. Canelo is the only one who can offer a massive payday to Crawford. Paulie supported Chris' remarks on Crawford being interested in fighting Canelo. He said that Canelo already has all the belts and he has all the money in the world that Crawford can make, so he is getting a package deal, both the money and the legacy. Paulie further explained that Canelo is a little bit older and he has a plethora of belts surrounding him, which doesn't make him as hungry as other fighters. So Canelo is a huge target for Crawford. Terrence is more well known at 54 than any other fighter, and the only guy who is well known like him is Canelo. Another major issue that Crawford might face if he goes up to fight Canelo is the 14-pound weight jump, which could take a huge toll on Crawford. Meanwhile, Turki Alalshaikh stunningly called off the Canelo-Crawford fight, saying that Canelo doesn't deserve the fight. It was mainly due to the fact that Canelo was demanding way more money than he deserved. Canelo, on the other hand, did not like the way Turki approached him. He said that he is focused on the fight with Edgar Berlanga and is not interested in having a conversation about the Crawford fight.
My response to Turki is this. Yesterday, they text me. They text me and say, we can talk about the fight in February with Crawford. Yeah. They text me yesterday, and I say, look, I'm not gonna talk about any other fight. I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this position. If he wants to work with me, it's in my way.
After Canelo's disrespectful response toward him, Turki decided to disregard the Canelo-Crawford fight and instead moved on to Virgil Ortiz Jr. During the Riyadh season, Turki mentioned Virgil Ortiz as a possible contender for Terence Crawford. On his Twitter, Turki posted, "Just wrapped up an important meeting now with my team, planning for the upcoming fights that we will make for 2024-2025. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focusing for the US market with bigger fights." Turki Alalshaikh received a smoking backlash after the Riyadh season fight with Israil Madrimov. One boxing critic mentioned that the reason why Turki doesn't want the Canelo fight is because he saw Crawford's performance against Madrimov. August 3rd's performance proved that Crawford won't be able to beat Canelo, but Turki will definitely make excuses to shift his direction into the money Canelo was asking. It is rumored that Canelo was demanding close to $150 million to fight Crawford, which seems absurd, even from a champion's point of view. In an interview after his press conference ended with Edgar Berlanga, Canelo asked for a huge sum.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing, Fight Hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean...
$100 million? I heard Turki offered you a big money already.
150.
150?
On the other hand, Canelo is afraid to fight David Benavidez at 168, so Benavidez had to remain a cruiserweight to fight his next mandatory opponent. David astoundingly batters Canelo on asking too much money to fight him.
I'm not scared of nobody. I've hurt everybody that's been in front of me, and Canelo's no different. And I will hurt him too, and I'll take all his belts. It's crazy that he asked for 150 million or 200 million to fight me, but he still has the nerve to say that I don't bring nothing to the table. So if I didn't bring nothing to the table, why are you asking for more money than you won in your whole career if I don't mean anything? Maybe after he gets that money, he could buy himself a pair of balls.
Turning our attention to Turki Alalshaikh once again. His Excellency fired back at Canelo for his shameful remarks once again when he was present at the fight between Virgil Ortiz and Serhiy Bohachuk. Turki claimed that he wants the best fights for boxing, but Canelo is disrespecting boxing by demanding too much.
And tell me to have the great fights. I don't understand. Give me good offer, and we give you good fight. You don't want it. Okay, give it in your way. We see of interest offer for him, and he doesn't respond with what we think is good for boxing. And this is right. But what the brother, he's not listening and instead he respects what he doesn't respect what we are doing in boxing.
On the other hand, Eddie Hearn shared his thoughts on the Canelo-Crawford fight. Eddie was extremely skeptical that Crawford would pull off the massive weight jumps because he barely beat Israil Madrimov at 154.
Canelo Alvarez, I think the general consensus was that the Terence Crawford-Israil Madrimov fight kind of put dead in the water Canelo Alvarez. It seemed as if everyone pushed their interest or potential interest to the side and were like, no, we don't want that for Crawford, it's too much of elite. But two massive names, it will still be a mega fight. How do you kind of sit with Crawford?
That, you know, I mean, I think people still probably don't give Israel Madrimov enough credit. I think he is the best 154-pounder in the world. Now, if you thought he lost the fight, I think he's the second best 154-pounder in the world. I think the weight's too much for Crawford, but I think it's irrelevant because it ain't happening. So we'll see what happens with Crawford. You know, he's a very inactive fighter.
Hearn elaborated his remarks on Crawford's weight jump when he said that the age he is at makes it difficult for him to become undisputed in another weight class. Eddie said that Crawford's thirst for money and becoming undisputed is more of a fantasy thought than reality. He said that Terence is a generational great, but he cannot pull off a fight with Canelo, who punches harder and has a better chin. When Eddie Hearn was asked about the Canelo-Turki beef that has been going around on social media, he said that it's a great challenge for Turki to make the best fights. There are a lot of fights that Turki wanted to make and that were really great, but he couldn't make. There are also fights that have only been made possible because of Turki Alalshaikh, so it's part of the game. Hearn elaborated his remarks on Turki making the Canelo fight happen. This just happens to be a high-profile fight, and Canelo just happens to be someone who does what he wants, which is sell, and someone that's got his own plans and ideas, which is his excellency. And I've said before, all his excellency wants to do is make the biggest fights in the sport. It's no wonder Canelo doesn't want to fight Terence Crawford, because he brings nothing to his legacy. Canelo said that Crawford is a smaller guy, so he gets nothing out of beating a smaller guy, but if the money is attractive, then he will go for it.
Bud Crawford, just won his debut at 154. Said if the money's right, we'll fight. Everybody wants that fight. What do you feel about that matchup? People saying the weight, all this stuff. How do you feel about that?
You know, everybody wants to fight me. Everybody calling me out and everything. And you know, like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford. 2-3 weights class less than me. But if the money is right, why not? Right? Why not? But look, I'm focused 100% on Berlanga. I know I have a challenge in front. I never overlook any fighter. So I'm focused 100% in this, and then we'll see.
Eddie disturbingly stated that a lot of times fights cannot be made, and Turki was frustrated just like all the other fans out there. Hearn distressingly stated that everyone wanted to make Crawford against Canelo and Benavidez against Canelo, but it's not possible at the given moment. He said that we are there to strategize and focus and do whatever is possible. Hearn said that the way Turki does business is like making it happen on the spot, and that is why he was frustrated, because Canelo doesn't want to talk right now. Eddie described his excellency by saying that he is a major fight fan with a big budget, and he wants what is best for the sport and best for the fans. Hearn said that people can dislike him because he is a promoter and he is running a business, but you can't really dislike his excellency because all he wants to do is make the best fights happen. On the other hand, Jeff Mayweather was asked about how Virgil may face up against Terence Crawford, to which he terrifyingly stated that he is not ready for Crawford. Jeff painfully stated that Virgil had been doing knockouts against fighters that were not well known, but his fight with Bohachuk proved his lack of skill in boxing. Jeff advised Virgil to steer clear of Crawford, as he stated, "I see Crawford is a better fighter. I don't know if Crawford felt Israel Madrimov's power or if he had heard about his power, but Crawford didn't fight the way he normally fights. I think Crawford is on a totally different level than Virgil." Meanwhile, Virgil Ortiz didn't really show a shiny display of raw power during his recent fight with Serhi. Robert Garcia, who is Ortiz's trainer, was asked to give his thoughts on Virgil's next fights. Garcia astoundingly responded, "In the next few months, I think he's gonna have to rest and enjoy his family and go back home and take some time off, because this was a brutal fight. But yeah, you know, there's great plans, you know." Robert further said that Golden Boy Promotions will pick out the biggest fights for Virgil. Later on, Robert alarmingly stated that all of Virgil's previous fights have been quite easy, mostly won by knockouts, but he needed this fight to learn a good lesson. It was a good learning experience for Virgil, his dad, and his whole team. Garcia was asked about Turki Alalshaikh's view on Virgil fighting Terence Crawford as his next opponent. Robert stunningly claimed that it would be something that they would have to talk about. Robert further said that the fight with Terence Crawford is a huge possibility, but the circumstances will determine the final situation. Garcia had stern hope that Crawford would be interested in fighting Ortiz as his next opponent, but was skeptical at Virgil's mood. He also said that Crawford may get the Canelo fight, or maybe he may not go for it at all. What do you think is the reason Terence is not fighting Virgil? Who will be Crawford's next opponent? Let us know in the comments below, and subscribe for more content like this.